Whom would you punch? Where's Amy? And the price of beauty. All this and more on today's B.O. Do, 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 do.
It's almost like you knew I was coming with that setup.
Okay, I have to tell you, you're just complaining pre-show about your hair. It looks fly, 1. 2, your super cute little gingham outfit looks adorable. And number 3, you look small.
I don't feel small.
Are you
You're
shrinking?
very kind to say that.
I'm not.
I don't.
Oh no. No, I'm not very kind. I'm just saying you look small. Good morning, good afternoon, good tardy, good everything. Good morrow, dear listener. Everybody look at Amy.
Well, good morning, Melissa, and thanks for the spotlight, especially since they can't see me. My favorite. So I'm attempting. I had a disruption in my medication, which makes me crazy. So I feel like I have had a stutter step week. I didn't realize how helpful it is in regulating my internals. Here's what I mean. I'm taking 2 different medications, and I didn't realize how powerful they were because when I stopped taking them, now all of a sudden you stand up and it's like, wow, I feel really dizzy, or I'm like losing my balance, or this doesn't make any sense to me. So it's, I got to get some of those things all regulated. So super stupid hiccup in terms of just the insurance company saying you can get it on this day, but not on that day. Stupid stuff. The 2 to 3 day difference meant it was a week and a half before I had it back in my system, just because of the way things work.
Oh,
so,
no.
Yeah. And then maybe you'd be proud of me.
Yeah.
I also realized that you're supposed to, I learned from someone, you're supposed to get vaccinated before you travel places, like real vaccinations for like awaysy, don'tsy diseases. So I had to get them for going to Central America. Hey, what's up? And I got my shingles shot. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got them all in one fell chemical swoop.
Might that be why you stood up and went, whoa?
I guess. I got a hip, hop, a hippie to the hip, and a hip, step, and a hip. So I got all my hips, and I got the shings. Well, honestly, I wasn't going to bother with the shingles vaccine. But then, speaking of Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Barbara Not Boxer's friend, what's her name? The one who's in the wheelchair now?
Barbara Boxer.
No, the other
Feinstein.
one. Actually,
She's Feinstein.
She
Sorry.
has shingles.
Sorry.
And this whole time, can I say?
She's like 170.
Can I tell you? Can I say? I thought it was a fake out. I thought it was a shingles sham. I thought that she really had cancer and she was like calling it wink shingles so people would leave her the fuck alone and not say, you're not going to make it. But who gets shingles and can't come to work for 4 months?
A 90-year-old woman.
How bad is it? It's some scratches, right? It's itches and scratches.
It is
Come
not
on.
itches and scratches. It picks a line, a nerve in your body, right? And down that line of that nerve, for on one side, you explode like you've got very painful chicken pox. And
Ouch. Yeah.
the way the woman, my physician, described it to me was, if it comes anywhere near your upper body and potentially your head or face, you can go blind. And I said, shoot me up, woman. Shoot me up. I'll take it. I was not risking that. Deaf, I'll go. Blind, I will not. And I'm halfway there already. So I can't.
Good for you. Good for you, floating eyeball. So I got all my shit. So anyway, so thank you for thinking that I am thin. It is part of a very long walk to have a smaller body on this physical plane. It's a long walk. So I'm a little disappointed at this dip. I will say that I am perilously close to having lost 40 pounds since I started this journey. So it's interesting that you are the only person to have commented and noticed. The only single person. No one else has noticed or commented, which tells me a number of things. First of all, and most importantly, this is why no one believes me when I tell them how much I weigh. Because just hear the words come out of my mouth. When I told you just now that I've lost 40 pounds and no one could tell, and that's a fact, no one could tell. My husband was stunned when I told him this news. He went, really? Good. And he knows.
The whole world?
Yeah, good. Well, all right. Let's not call
He
into
was
question
stunned.
his judgment based on the clear lack of judgment in
He
these
was
two cases.
stunned. The whole world?
Yeah. So, yeah, but like truly nobody. And I think it also has to do with I'm not attempting to make myself, to cloak myself one way or another. But I also don't feel like it's just that noticeable. I carry myself and my clothing and my aura in such a way where it stays pretty, I don't think constant's the right word, but you're just not really directed to the scale of my body. Does that make sense? Versus someone who wears skin tight exercise clothing all day long, or kind of a uniform of outfits all day long. And then one can notice when there's a difference, a little bit of a bigger pooch here. My stuff is always really flowy and big, and I'm kind of moving all the time, and I'm grabbing you all the time. So I'm kind of like a chaos goblin. It's hard to get a good bead on what I look like. I don't know. Is that all bullshit, do you think? Does that sound like bullshit to you?
Yes and no. To some degree it does. The reason I think I see a difference in you is because I don't see you every day. I don't really feel like differences like that are very visible to people who see you every day. My husband is also on a journey similar, but without injections. He's just annoying everybody with what he orders. And I gave him a hug the other day because I told you he demands 7 a day. And when I hugged him, his shoulders weren't as, I don't know, he just felt
Plush?
smaller. Yeah, they weren't as fluffy as they used to be. He's smaller. He is smaller. You're smaller. And I didn't see it in him because I see him every day. But that physical, this again, grab was, there is less of you to grab onto and to hold onto and to squeeze. So I see it. They see you all day, every day, so they don't notice it. But
I'll tell you this.
Stuff to your... You travel with a big personality, and in no way is that shrinking. So I do understand your theory with flowy clothes, but not as much as the fact that you come into the room before your body comes into the room. Like it's not.
I think that's fair. I think that's true. I put that forth, and I'm glad that you on some level agree with it. I guess also what I'm saying is my fashion choices have always been to attempt to make the best of where I am right now. So I'm always, so that means there is a lot of intention in directing the eye and whatever. So it makes me feel so, it affects my personality so much when I look in the mirror and I get really upset at how I look and what I'm wearing. So I try not to let that happen. So I try to always have on things that make me feel good. And when you feel good, right, people think you look good. So it's less about what size those pants are or how big that belt is. It's that, she looks good because I'm walking around projecting this thing of I look good even though I don't. I had a major weight loss about 6 years ago, and then it kind of stalled out, and then it crept back on, and COVID came, and I went off the rails. So now I'm back to pretty much, within the target range of that earlier weight loss, right? So I haven't gotten down to my lowest from that weight loss or blown past it. Once that happens, that's when I think people will be really noticing. And I don't care if people notice. In the world?
Wouldn't you love for a physician to say to you, I think we overcorrected. Let's meet out for Wednesday pasta night. And this way I can know for sure that one night a week you are just tanking it yourself with carbs. Like, I want a physician to say that to me.
I was on bed rest in the hospital with child number 2. And I remember it was prescribed to me that I got Dove bars in the hospital at 10 p.m. They would roll in a cart, and I was told to eat ice cream at 10 p.m. every night. Yep.
That's amazeballs. I've never used that word before.
I gained 60 pounds during that pregnancy.
Okay.
30 of it in the last 2 months.
You brought him up, so here goes.
Yes.
Did he, is he graduating? Is there something going on? Is something exciting happening on your home front?
I wish that there was nothing happening on my home front. I'm having everything happening on my home front. I remember graduation week, senior week with our oldest, and I remember it being a chaotic, exciting time. But this was also during COVID when everything was off and changed. There was no graduation. We're going to do a drive-through in a car.
I remember that.
So,
it was beautiful, though. It was still beautiful, and I still cried, and those teachers were still lined up handing shit out. I saw the video, and I cried. I'm not even in this school.
It was wonderful and moving, and honestly, I think it probably meant more to us and to him than if we had the traditional ceremony. That said, I've been through this at least once on some level. It's nothing like now. It's nothing like now. The amount of everything, everywhere, all at once-edness of this week is insane. It's insane. And I partly did it to ourselves in terms of, we could throw that in. We could do that. We could do that too. Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess that can happen. That's fine. And then that got rescheduled to this week. That's okay. So I'm going to spare everybody the itinerary because you would get crazy if I told you. Just know that every single day, including yesterday, has a minimum of 2 formal dress school functions per day. Minimum. Some days have 3 per day, formal dress. So on one day, that back-to-back days, Thursday and Friday, I have to get all 5 of my people formal dress. Not just formal dress like suit and tie. Has to be a particular color, particular shirt, particular thing, particular this. You have a call time. It's almost like a uniform. You have to do this. You have to do that. I mean, it's a lot for people who get irritated when they have to wear pants with a zipper. Right?
Or pants. Stop it,
and
pants.
Now it's a suit with an undershirt and a thing, and it's like, ugh. So there's a lot of back to wall. And I was just telling my son, who I just drove home from college this morning in rush hour traffic, because why would I choose to do that this morning? Hey, because there's no other time. So to get him here, and the second we're done with all this high school madness, literally we're at a party until 11 p.m. And then the next morning at 3 a.m., we get on a flight to leave. We get in the car to go to the flight that leaves at 5 a.m. for an international flight, which is awful. So it's a lot happening. So I said to the kid who I just picked up, it's a little bit like, you know how we're going away for a whole week next week? So you have to do everything that would have happened in that week this week? So that's what I'm doing for work and for all of the other things that I have that are not work, that are part of my life. And then this week, with all the stuff that's going on with your brother and graduating, it's like having another vacation week. Like I can't do anything other than that. So all the stuff that's supposed to happen this week had to happen last week, or also simultaneously has to happen this week. So I got 3 weeks. I got 3 weeks in the right now.
In 1 week. In the right now, yes.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And now there's a chip in the windshield, so I get to call my friends at Safe Flight again. And you know they fucked me last time.
Oh, they sure did. And Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace, and that will be in my head all day. But they said, last time they fucked you, it was at my house.
They sure did.
And then we had to literally jigger your, I don't know, is that a word? That's not a shot glass?
Last time I didn't actually have any glass in the frame where it normally would be. So that was kind of a big one for Safe Flight. This is just a little tiny chip that we noticed a couple days ago, and it became even more noticeable after this, whirlwind, high-speed highway round trip. It just need to get it filled in before it becomes something that can't be filled in and has to be replaced. So just one more thing to layer onto the day that fuck. How are you, Melissa?
Sound like a chicken. Fuck. So we are recording for you a beauty episode. This week, Amy doesn't know it. Before we begin our beauty episode, I would like to do 30 seconds with Amy.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, okay. We do this. Dear listener, I'm sure you remember my biggest fear is a timer, and Amy said I'm crazy, and I said, oh, yeah? If a timer is not a problem, then you should have no trouble doing X, Y, or Z with 30 seconds. So I give her...
I always have trouble.
Oh, they'll see. This one I made for you because this is tailored. You're going to love me. It's tailored to Amy because of who she is and what she does. She has 30 seconds to name as many of these items as she can. I will tell you, in the past, she has gotten 1, none, 9, 2, and then a couple of times she's just made tremendous excuses why she didn't have any and how everything was my fault. So timers are a problem for her too. And until she admits it, we're doing 30 seconds with Amy. Amy, for the next 30 seconds, can you name for me utensils/appliances in the kitchen?
Wait, stop. There are 2 different categories.
Name them all. I'm giving you the ability to name anything you can in the kitchen.
Okay.
Small appliance / utensil.
Okay.
Go.
Spoon, spatula, knife, fork, blender, coffee frother, coffee maker, coffee grinder, hand mixer, cookie sheet, juicer, wire whisk, microplane, grater, toaster, soap dispenser. Doesn't really
Stop.
count, but I feel like I'm...
Okay. You did
I do
great.
it?
You did great.
Okay.
The reason I chose this topic is because you have named things in the past that I was like, that's a what? For example, oh, Melissa, I made this amazing potato dish. I'm going to tell you all about it till you cream your pants, and then I'll tell you that I used a mandolin to do it. And I say, Captain Corelli's mandolin? It's a musical instrument, isn't it?
I forgot about that. That's because I store it in a different place. I forgot about it. I was just scanning the shelves.
Right. So you got, I'm going to give you 15, and that's because...
That's on the high side for me.
It's very high. But you said microplane, and then you added
Grater,
something.
Yeah.
Grater. Okay.
As I was going to say a microplane, but then I thought you wouldn't know what I meant. So a microplane grater is...
Obviously don't know what you mean. Like, well,
I thought another
maybe
problem. That's another problem because spoon now covers about 18 different items in my kitchen. Spatula covers about it because you've got a slotted spoon, you've got a wooden spoon, you've got a silicone spoon, you've got a high heat spoon, you've got a silver spoon, you got a serving spoon, you got a teaspoon, you got a measuring spoon. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds. So I said spoon, and then I was like, fuck, I fucked myself for spoons, right? The same thing with microplane, because now I've fucked myself for all graters, because you have a regular grater, you have a microplane grater, you have a box grater. These are graters. These are things that grate. I'm sorry. They're great. You know what I mean? You know what I mean when I say microplane grater?
I own a grater. It has flesh in it. It has.
Okay, so you probably have a box grater, right?
It's a flank. It's not even a box. A box
is it a stick? It's like a flat stick.
It is a flat plank, not a stick.
Oh,
a
I've
stick
seen
is
the
a
one. You have a multi-tool. So you have.
She just called me a tool.
You have a multi-tool. So you have a flat metal object.
Yes.
With multiple slicing areas, including
size holes. Yeah.
A horizontal one that is intended to be used on cheese, which doesn't work to cut anything.
Correct.
And it probably has like a molded handle down at the bottom where you can theoretically hold it and do all this slicing. And that is maybe like a beach house mandolin. That's the kind of
I have
thing
a beach house.
Find.
Okay.
That's where that belongs. That's the kind of thing where it's like, we don't really have a mandolin, but we have this object. Yeah. A microplane. Okay. Let me just, wow.
This doesn't feel like a beauty episode, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, if you can imagine a double width nail file, that's a ruler, a 12-inch ruler, right? That has tiny, tiny, tiny little shavicle areas, right? And
I love that word. If that is not a word, it should be.
Now, are you going to use that to maybe get some roughed up edge chocolate so that you can have some chocolate shavings on the top of your cup? Of course you are. Of course you are. Oh. Are you going to maybe also on a different day, are you going to use this so that you can run a garlic over there so that you have the finest little flavor of garlic on your bruschetta? Of course you are.
Does that come with a glove?
Are you going to maybe sometime on a different area? Are you going to use it for citrus peel so that you can make the most delightful citrus sugar where you just take the little tiniest, most beautiful, non-bitter outside edges of the citrus and rub them between your fingers with castor sugar so that now the sugar itself is the color of the citrus and the flavor of the citrus? It's worth it. It's worth it. And no, you don't need gloves or anything because they are so small that even if you accidentally brush up against them lightly, you're not going to nick or mar yourself in the same way that you would with your jagged edge.
Yeah, it's got flesh in it.
Tool.
Like it collects flesh. Like I think my father-in-law bled out on that one.
It's a hard one. It's
tough.
It's a hard one.
And you can't just reach into the drawer to pull something out because it's in there and it will bite you. It will get.
Like that's what the Amish use to thin down wood. Like it's a really rough one. Is the one you have.
The table sander. Yeah, I got that.
Jam. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Amy. What is the price of beauty?
I'm not sure how to answer this question.
I have
a lot of answers to this question, so let's discuss.
Boker Tov, this morning I rolled up to the plastic surgeon so he could shoot I don't know, 3 vials of vileness into my forehead and crow's feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this
Okay.
morning was a Botox morning. So for putting a value on beauty, let's start in the hundreds. Okay. Let's start there. So we have Botox. Are you a partaker in things Botox?
I haven't done any of those things, but it's like you and ayahuasca. It's if only for the opportunity.
Okay. That's
I haven't
fair.
coordinated. I have a strong desire to sort out my stuff. And as I've told you repeatedly, I'm saving up for my neck job. If I wasn't so creeped out about how they actually do it, I would have already done it.
Right.
And I'm
Legit.
I'm really looking for a way where there's very little cutting involved, and they're certainly not grabbing a hold of the muscles and strings and pulling me like a puppet. I just want the outer skin to be taut and fresh again. And how hard is that really? Hasn't somebody figured this the fuck out? But some of the stuff that these women do, my God, have you seen that draconian Iron Maiden shit that they do with a combination of a laser and micro darts, and they move it all over their face, and then the women stand there and they say, yes, I just had, thermal fuck you laser, and I can't go out of the house for the next 90 days, but when I do, I'll be grateful that I can breathe air again. Maybe.
Are you being Amy, or is that a real number, 90 days?
They go away for a long time because it is a combination of, it looks like an allergy test. So they have this like tattoo gun in a square that goes chunk, and it's so mean that it leaves the imprint of all of the knives going into you, the needles going into you, and they combine that with a juice from a laser. So they shoot you with needles and then burn you with a laser, and then they go and leaves a mark, and then they go all over your face so that you have this horrible, gritted, scarred, disgustified, soon to peel off, damaged face.
Another great word. Disgustified.
And then I'm telling you, it is easily 60 days before you can.
So are you
walk around
snaking
again.
at that point? You're going to molt. You're going to lose everything they just injected and made, and then you have fresh baby skin. Is that the goal?
I wish I knew what I think it's called a CO2 laser. I think it's called a CO2 laser is what they get. Or Morpheus laser, that's what it is. Because everyone says this is the most painful thing I have ever experienced. And guys do it. The guys who look like plastic people, they're like, they're right. This is the most painful thing I've ever experienced.
I've
like,
seen people day 1, day 2, after a peel, like an acid peel on their face. But the whole idea of injectee, wait for it to scabby uppy, feels like tattooing, but also feels like no.
Well, and then there's the whole folk. Then there's the whole folk who travel. Not only is it going to,
well, that's dumb. Are you talking about going to Mexico for surgeries?
Going
they won't.
To Tijuana for your full facelift because you're going to save $10,000 or whatever. It's like, I don't know about that. And then the other one that's weird is now there's all these folk who get on a plane to Korea because the spas there are so inexpensive that you have this ridiculous flight to go to Korea for like 3 to 4 days, and then the spas are like do-it-yourself spa. Like part of the reason they save money is A, it might be part of the culture, or B, they just might have access to it. So do-it-yourself means you walk in, and then there's like you wash your own face at the sink instead of part of your procedure is they scrub your face and do all this other stuff. Then you do this, then you do this, then you lay down, and I guess the donkey comes and kicks you in the spine or whatever the fucking beauty thing is that you're supposed to do. And then all these women come walking out of there and get on their planes again. Seems like a lot.
It sounds crazy. It does sound crazy. You mocked me when I said I think everybody wants a PET scan to find out if cancer is growing inside of you. To nip all of that in the bud before that rose is a bloom.
So you think it's crazy. We're talking price of beauty and going to Korea and getting shot in the face. And all
there are things like placenta that you eat and put on your face and use umbilical cord blood for people saved and paid for that to be saved for the next child in case that. No, some people use that for rejuvenation. I think that's what everybody's searching, right? For the fountain of youth. Is that what we're all looking for? All right. So what are the things that you have done for this price of beauty? Because I've already told you I've done Botox before. I do it every 6 months. I call it baby Botox because it's not, what the old lady at the counter had on her face that made me knock on it. When she turned her head, I knocked on her face, and you could hear it 3 doors down. But what have you done?
I consistently do hair in the form of I don't like gray hair on myself. When I see my face framed in gray, it makes me feel sad. So I don't allow that to happen. So I pay someone else to color it. And sometimes when I'm feeling fancy, I color it in extra poppy ways as opposed to just hide that gray. Sometimes I say hide it and then make it fun. So I spend money on that. And I also have found someone I like. And as she has prospered in her career, I have not left her. So I'm sure that I am at the upper end. Another way of saying it is I'm sure I'm overpaying for these haircuts, but that's absolutely without a doubt one of the things that I do. I do that it's completely for beauty. I do keep my nails did. I've started keeping my nails did, and I like it, and I've always thought of that as a luxury. It's never something I'm going to do myself, ever, ever, ever. They're my own nails that somebody paints for me and does the manicure for me. I don't add shit to them, but it's not cheap to have somebody do that anymore.
Correct.
Because now that we figured out, thanks New Yorker article, because it used to be that we were abusing those women in all the sweatshops and you could get a $15 pedicure for the rest of your life until you figure out, oh, wait, it's because they're sleeping in the closet and they have to, they're indentured servants here forever. And then that story got blown off and now it's $70 to get your shit done. But, I think human rights are more important than my toenails.
That's big of you.
I'm on board. So I do those things. I would love to get my neck did. I absolutely, not only would I love to, I know I'm going to get my neck done. I know I'm going to get it done. And this is really the heart of your question, because I pay for such nominal things in the realm of beauty. I commit to you that this bothers me, and it has bothered me to such a degree. Remember when I said I was in Jamaica most recently? There's a mom there. Totally irrelevant, but she's from Canada, so she does, and she doesn't wear any makeup. So I mean, those two things together, you can see, like, you can create a picture in your mind of her style and all this stuff, rugged and everything. She's gorgeous, but she doesn't wear any makeup. And she said, I really think I need to get a boob job. And I was like, okay, sure. And she's like, I know it's so weird because I don't even wear makeup. Like, she's very, could work at REI. She's
crunchy.
Very outdoor.
She's crunchy. Yeah.
She's like, but I just feel like that's something I want to do. And I was like, okay. But it was so strange. That's how I feel about my neck. Anyone who sees me, the first thing they're going to say is, God, I'm so sorry about your neck. But if I'm wearing a high collar or something, they might not know it. So it's a weird thing that's what I fixate on. Of all the things I could fix, I bet other people have a short list before they get to neck. But that's the one that when I see it, I don't like the way it makes me feel. It changed. And when it changed, I see it in the mirror. It used to be I would look in the mirror and I would see myself and then I would move about my day. And now when I look in the mirror, I see someone else's neck in the place of where mine's supposed to be.
Who put that there?
And I don't like it. It would be different if they replaced it with like a youthy neck. That's okay. I could take a youthy neck.
I am
going to cut it out. I'm going to go get a youthy neck. And my family has double chin that runs in the family. Everyone in my family has a double chin. With fat, thin, we all have a double chin. It's just the way it works. So that contributes to the gobble, 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 gobble. I got to get this neck out. I got to get this neck all done, man. So is that like a Botox thing? Is that like a snip and tug? What do I do? Every time I try to look at it, I see people on these videos and they have like markers on the skin and anatomical figures where like the skin is pulled back and then someone's hoinking on you. It's just, I'm like, and then I can't do the research for it because it creeps me out.
It might benefit us to have a plastic surgeon come on the show, however, or just come over to your house.
Or get sponsored by one so I don't have to actually.
And then my Botox would be free?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Have you waxed?
I used to wax my eyebrows and I have completely given it up. Now,
is that because we had 90s eyebrows that we plucked within an inch of our lives and now any hair that grows back, we are grateful for it?
I used to have Brooke Shields eyebrows and now I have regular eyebrows. And I noticed that with the frequency of waxing, they were not sproinking back as quickly. And now that I wear glasses, you kind of don't see my eyebrows anyway. So I can get away with some mistakes. So
my girlfriend, Monica, who I met before my wedding, said to me, you got to take care of this situation. And I looked at her and I said, What? I'm
What
engaged.
situation?
I'm engaged to the man that lives in your building across the hall from you. And
I'm engaged.
Is
so
that what you're talking
situation
about?
I had has worked. Exhibit A.
Is that
Look
the
at my
situation
ring.
you're talking about, Stuart? You want me to lose that guy? No, she was referring to my eyebrows. She's like, the Brooke Shields thing is over. What was this, 1998, 99? She said, you gotta clean that shit up. And I was like, I had never waxed a day in my life, anything. So eyebrows is something you wax. Would you wax anything else?
I've never waxed the downstairs.
Yeah.
And I really, every year I say I'm going to do it. Every season I say I'm going to do it. I said I was going to do it before going to this Costa Rica trip. I said I was going to do it before going to Jamaica. Guess what? I'm not doing that.
Does it matter to you at all that you lay on your back like you're delivering a baby and hold your knees up to your chest as far as you can go so they can get to the part they need to wax? Does that bother you at all?
It does now. I hadn't really gone to the logistics beyond the idea of let's go in a room with a stranger and let her wipe some scalding hot wax on you, then physically rip hair out of the root of your little baby lady.
Where it is most sensitive. And God
even
forbid.
Even just your legs. I can't handle it. I can't.
Well, why would you?
Your
legs?
thigh leg.
Oh, yeah.
Your leg. Even if you just are in there, because my vision is you go in there, keep your under pantalones on, and then they just go right up to the edge of the underwear and just get your leg.
Okay.
Like where it would peek out of your bathing suit.
Okay. I would like for you to do this activity and then come back and report to us
how
how
on earth
accurate.
would I do this? No. And then you're going to get the bumps, and then you're going to get the ouches, and it itches, and it's going to be
when it grows back. It's a
I'm not doing
fucking
any of
nightmare.
that. I tell you, I have women who I am biologically connected to, and I will leave it at that for their privacy and protection. And they wax their arms, like their forearms. They wax their legs from ankle to pud. They get the shit ripped off. I have known a woman of Middle Eastern descent who had her crack waxed regularly. And she said, it's just clean and smooth. I'm like, what? You got hair in your crack? So I
support clean and smooth. What I don't support is stranger
ouch.
deep in your most sensitive parts hurting you. And then, dear God, every human knows what it feels like when hair grows back.
No thanks.
It's bad enough you rub up against a table corner just to not touch yourself. Now it's on all ends. Nope. Summer's coming. I'm going to be in a bathing suit at the beach. Do you think... I don't know, man. That razor...
You're blonde, though. I mean, you probably don't. You're probably like me, where you just don't have a lot of hair.
So... I
have tons of hair on my head, disproportionate to the rest of my body, and then I don't really have any other hair. I don't
You're
have
a hairless cat.
I have. I mean, I got enough, I guess. But
what?
I can go for 2 months and not shave. And if you brushed up against my leg, you might notice. Oh, she probably needs a shave. But it's soft. It doesn't come in
by
like
then
razor
it's soft.
blades.
2 months later, it's soft.
No, it's sporadic. It's also how none of my
lucky.
children can grow a beard.
Lucky.
Right? They just get that little, there's like sort of some hair, but it doesn't turn into a beard ever. That's how my legs are. They don't turn into like shrubs overnight. I just get like a sprout.
What wouldn't you do?
For beauty?
Yeah.
Is there a list? Do you have a long list of things that I'm supposed to do or not do that I can yes or no? Probably a lot, because I'm not really dedicated to the womanly craft in the way that I should be. I mean, it's the same kind of thing. Can you imagine? You just look at somebody and you're like, man, can you? I was watching Ms. Maisel last night, and the father was lamenting, and he says, my daughter is so strong, and I've never realized it, and she's so successful, and she's all these. He was just gushing for the first time, and he said, and I ignored her, and I belittled her, and I told her that she did it all despite me. Can you imagine what she would have been if I had supported her? So that I think from a beauty standpoint,
I don't remember that.
Can you imagine how good I would look if I would actually just do the beauty stuff? Because I do okay, but fuck, if I actually was doing it. Sometimes you look at people and you're like, they would make such a good rich person if they just had money. The whole world would be better.
I said that to my kids with school. I'm like, look, this is what you have by not trying. Could you imagine what the world would be like if you gave effort for you?
See, and for us too.
Okay,
You're denying us.
ready?
You're denying us. Yeah.
Do you know what colostrum is?
That's the first nutrition that a lactating mother makes, correct?
It
That's
sure
the,
is.
That's the pre-milk?
A
That's the
lactating mother.
strongest.
Does
Yeah.
the mother have to be human?
Oh, God. What in the name of Kardashian are we doing now?
Colostrum is the new it powder.
No. We're not breastfeeding on each other now, are we?
Well, it's
What?
It's not human colostrum that is all the rage. It is bovine colostrum.
Whoa.
Superfood, grass-fed, immune, gut fitness, brain benefits, 200 plus nutrients, potent, bioavailable, keto certified, gluten-free.
Okay, but so we already abuse the cows to get the milk. Now we get them pregnant and then we steal the baby's milk?
Antioxidants, antibodies, regenerative peptides, antimicrobial proteins, anti-inflammatory compounds, whole food prebiotics, vitamins and minerals, the IgG and the IgA immunoglobulins. Yeah, man, we are now being
sucking on cow teat.
Breastfed.
And how good you supposed to look? You look like a cow when you're done? Do they have great skin? Why are we doing this?
Not. I'm hoping not. Why are we doing this?
This is so ridiculous.
It strengthens, here are your whole health benefits. Strengthens immunity, enhances skin radiance and hair growth. It restores sleep. It fuels performance and recovery. It ignites your metabolism while supporting sinus health.
How about taking a walk?
It
taking a walk?
supports
taking
sinus
a walk
health,
does all these things.
Fortifies
lift the box over your head.
Gut health and improves focus and energy, mood and energy. This sounds like the secret pill to everything everybody's ever complained about, doesn't it?
How about lift some rocks from the shoreline at the beach and carry them back up to the thing and make a little fence? And once you've done that for the day,
put them back.
You put them back. And then you're going to have the most beautiful body and soul combined because you're going to be out in the sun all day. You're going to be physically connected to the earth. You're going to be doing things with your body and your mind all day long. You're going to be getting cardio. You're going to be connected. You're going to be creating all in one. And you don't have to suck on cow teat.
They send it to you in a fine powder.
I bet they do.
And we have a friend who bought it.
That's not you.
And who who yesterday drank it while on a Marco Polo with me.
Oh my.
From Portland, Oregon.
No. Why?
You can ask her. Why did you not hear all of the benefits it had?
She's already beautiful and healthy and whole.
So,
what is a cow going to do for you?
Colostrum, though, rationally makes sense, though, doesn't it? Yes, that is the best nutrients for our children, for their children, for children. It is not placenta on the face. It is not a blood mask. You've seen those too. There are some very bizarre things. Would you take colostrum?
If I was recovering from serious illness, if there's some reason that my body has to regenerate itself or my immune system is deficient or I'm in a state where I need that level of support, and there's evidence that this makes a difference, yeah, I'd suck on a tarantula nut, whatever it takes to get the shit done. Let's go. But just, we're talking about someone who's already healthy, though.
Yes,
she's already healthy.
She is choosing to add this, I'm going to say, supplement to her.
Right.
You could only put it in a cool beverage, no hot beverages.
I bet it's great. I also question how they're powdering, how they're identifying that this is actual colostrum and not just, a little bit of, coffee mate creamer. Let's powder that shit. They won't know. Like, I don't want a scam. I want health for everybody. She's already beautiful. She's already healthy.
Then they give you the choice.
She's so powerful and sparkly. I don't understand.
Do you want it unflavored or blood orange flavor?
What?
And I thought,
at least go vanilla.
I thought, I can't have a powder. And then they ask on the box, it says, you can take it by opening the packet and shaking it right into your mouth. Okay, if it's Fun Dip, maybe. If it comes with a fun
Does it come in a
candy stick,
in a little cow udder, and they let you just grab a hold of this windbag and give it a couple of squirts?
I got to tell you, you missed your calling. You absolutely call them right now and mark it for them. Coming in a tiny little cow udder. Can the cow udder be the Fun Dip stick? And then you
I gotta
just
say,
chew
well,
off the edge.
there's something like I think it's RGB, recombinant growth hormone. Is that right? In weight loss circles, this is for a long time. This has been a thing in weight loss circles where talking about this is what you need to help your body get back to its natural, like all the things. And I was like, yeah, I don't know that I need to be taking that shit. They say go to 600 calories a day and take that. And I'm like, that sounds
Absolutely
crazy.
Not.
That's like that
sentence.
Vogue diet where you eat 2 steaks and smoke a carton of Luckies and then I'll drink a bottle of wine and you're going to lose 30 pounds in 6 hours.
Overnight.
Like, right. I bet I will. And I have a stroke. So it's like,
when you're burying me, think of how good my cheekbones look.
Clearly, I am no bastion of health. I'm on prescription medication. I already told you I'm in the process of getting my stuff regulated so that I can get off these medications, which will be great too. Don't have a problem with medication. Don't have a problem being off medication. If taking some supplement makes you feel better and actually makes you function better, I'm all for it. I don't love the idea that colostrum is the next bridge too far. It seems a little, but there's people who also, not my friend, there's people who also eat and sell poop because they're missing the gut thing that comes in your poop.
Fecal transplant. That is, if you have issues with your bowel, you find somebody hopefully related to you, blood related, not really your spouse, who has excellent poop, and they transfer it.
They market to us. They'll pay you $600 a month to put your poop in a box and mail it to them. Because they want healthy teen boys. So they, you're athlete interested in making $600 a month, and I'm like, go away.
I don't even know. That's like dropping your son off freshman year 4 hours from your house, and you open up as somebody stronger is unpacking boxes. You open up the school paper and it's got a picture of a talking sperm saying, you're doing it anyway. Why not donate it here and get $2,100 this year?
Since we're talking about some creepy stuff, I want to go to the creepiest possible place, and then you're going to pull me back out. So get the harpoon ready. And that's another thing. This team that we played last week ran out onto the field with a harpoon. A physical whale harpoon. Not a replica, an actual working harpoon.
What's the name of their team?
The Hurricanes. Made no sense. I get that we're in Cape Fear, but what are you?
Still no.
They a harpoon and holding it up. It's like we would run out with a fucking musket. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. All right, so get your harpoon ready.
All right.
Now I'm going to talk about how much I admire, because I didn't know this, teachers and everyone in a position of authority who works with children, how much I admire you, because my husband had to go through, and your husband as well, my husband had to go through something last night, which was so sickening, I couldn't even be a part of it, because he was required, as now a card-carrying member of the coaching staff or in whatever facility he's in for the summer league, he was required to go through pervert training or whatever they call it. The predator protocol, whatever they fucking
mandatory
call it.
Reporters training, right? What to look.
Okay, I don't know. It's a 9-part series of how to spot a sicko, and it was so disgusting and gross. And he just was listening to the thing, and I'm like, can't you just put that on mute and then click advance to confirm you've done it? So not actually do it. And he's like, no, I have to take a quiz at the end of each one of these 9 fucking segments. And they were so gross. And it wasn't even graphic. It was just statistics, reality, perceptions, bias, things to look for, strategies people use, how to be aware, things that are going on that you're not even aware of, female predators, all the fucking things. And I was like, I'm going to throw up. So I was in the larger space. We have an open concept. So I was in the larger space for the first 1.5, and I had to physically leave. I went to a different floor of the house because I didn't want to be around it. It was so gross. And I really lament that he had to go through it. I'm thrilled that he did go and I was like, I'm so sorry for you. And he's like, it's disgusting, but at the same time, I feel like it's good for me to have it. I can't even have that in my head. I can't even be a person who can protect kids because it's too much for me to even go through the reality of what's really going on somewhere. And it makes me less worried about the QAnon people because half of what they're saying is rooted in these things they're just, here's the evidence and here's where the evidence came from. Like, here's the fact. Here's what we know. Here's the bias. Kids are at risk. Sports kids in particular are at risk. Teens are at risk. And oh my God, it was so hard.
You're talking
so
about,
teachers probably have to do this every year, I bet.
You're talking about a population that's vulnerable, that's unrepresented, really, without parent for the majority of their day. They're targets. Children are targets. And the fact that your husband had to sit through a training on how to deal with these children that are targets is both gross and excellent that he is trained.
In the beginning, it wasn't as awful because it was things that had never even occurred to me. Things along the lines of, here are 4 different scenarios for what happens every day and how to deal with it in a potential grooming incident. Like, you're aware, people are aware of it and don't know what to do about it. That's a fail. People aren't aware of it, so nothing gets done about it. That's a fail. People are aware of it and say something about it and nothing gets done, and that's a fail. Like, they were sort of like running all these scenarios, and it can be as simple as, even on social media, can you spot when somebody's being sexualized or when they're being groomed, when someone in a position of power, and that power can be as simple as, I control where you sit on the bus. I control how much playing time you get. Is that person,
I give you a ride back from practice every day.
Is that person now in a position to influence the thoughts and behaviors and pressures on this child?
That's absolutely gross.
Are other kids doing it to other kids? Just kept going and
That's
going
gross.
and going. It is gross. So the whole reason to get the harpoon, pull me out of this shit, is just imagine how much behind the scenes training and preventative ick all of the carers in your life for the history of your life have been putting up with, that we blissfully don't even know. We just don't even know, because I guarantee you that teachers have to do this to get certified somehow every year. And they probably have to do some kind of physical abuse training too. And there's probably even worse things that I'm just so ignorant and don't know anything about.
There's
it's just one more way that they carry too much on their shoulders. And thank you.
As opposed to the TikTok I saw this morning of the buckets and buckets and boxes of books that they're banning. That's a lot of bees in Florida. One of the teachers was like, they don't want you to know that black people existed, that Jews existed, that Latinos existed, that people of Asia. It was crazy. But it's mandatory reporters who have to go through that stuff because they need to be able to identify what they're reporting. I remember sitting at Goddard School, like a chain, everything, where Monday morning was share. Everybody sat in circle to share. And I stroked out at least once a week. Like, really, morning circle.
The kids were coming in and just telling like,
yes,
it was normal.
Yes. Like, oh, I helped my mom's boyfriend clean his guns this weekend. I think that's cool. I'm like, this feels like a red flag.
Well, and I'm going to jump in because I also, for decades, truly, more than 10 years, I have just abused and chastised our good friend Annie for her, what I previously thought, ridiculous objection to ever letting any child ever go to the bathroom in any setting ever without a chaperone.
Unattended, right.
Like, you're in a restaurant.
You're
14.
In a
Michelin star restaurant.
Right.
He owns the restaurant. Right. He can't go to the bathroom by himself.
Not by himself. Buddy system.
Because to catch a predator is hovering in the trash can. Well, I got to say.
She's seen it, yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine what happens in chapter 8 of this 9-part series and bathroom protocol. So it's like on a certain, yeah, okay. If that's all it takes is I'm just going to have a cold entree when I return, but I'll know my kid is safe. Yeah, I'm in. Okay, I got it now. I understand. I apologize, Annie. That's my bad. I'm sorry.
And her kids turned out amazing. So definitely, if you're just starting out as a young parent, find someone who's parenting or whose kids are fantastic and sit next to their parents for 10 minutes and ask every fucking question you can imagine. It is the hardest job. I have a kid right now in the Middle East. He's in Cyprus right now.
I was going to say, isn't he on country number 2?
Yes. And I said, because I'm a dick and very controlling, I said it. It's not like I don't know it. I know. I'm aware, people. I'm aware. So I said, I need an itinerary for you outside of your first trip. Your second trip is all led by you. I need to know where you're sleeping every night. I need an Airbnb. Like, I need to know. And that way, personally, I can look at pictures, see if everything is okay. And everyday proof of life. He's done proof of life. But his first couple of days were in a youth hostel after his first trip. And a hostel where we stayed in New Orleans was fucking mayhem for international travelers. Picture that overseas with no, I don't want to say quality control, but no quality control regulations.
Kinda.
It is a very dangerous place to be in Israel where he was. It is also real close to Gaza. It is also a hostel, and he lied to me. So as a parent, well, he said he had an Airbnb, and then when he returns from Cyprus, he'll be at the same Airbnb before flying home from Tel Aviv to Newark, New Jersey. And I said, okay. And then he said, here's a picture of the hostel. And he showed me a picture from his bed, and there was a strange man. Could this link further into our conversation previous? See also. And this grown man reading a book on a bunk bed across from him. And I thought, oh my fucking God, there's no way for me to get. And you can't start a fight with your kid while they're halfway across the world. You can't fight about that shit now. You have to tuck it down, get diarrhea, and wait for him to come home. And you still can't start a fight then because it's over and he's safe.
I manipulate space-time continuum.
Then my daughter says, Mother, have you tried the yellow dragon fruit?
Ooh.
And I said, I've seen all the TikToks and there's no fucking way I'm putting that in my body. All I need to do is send your brother to a hostel and I get a full purge. So have you seen the yellow dragon fruit, Aim?
I'm sure I haven't. I thought you were going to tell me this is a flavor because I mentioned Sonic at Sonic. Tell me yellow dragon fruit. I'm on Water Talk, but I think I got tripped up because I like one particular personality on Water Talk, and I never really see anything other than her, and I'm fine with it.
The dragon fruit is...
I do know is either white or a pink one, so I didn't know there was a yellow one.
There's a yellow one. It's got like the kiwi seeds-ish like on the inside.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
And these gorgeous women on TikTok open this motherfucker up and they say, everybody says that this is a really good way to cleanse your whole system. And I like a really good cleanse.
Oh, my God.
So I'm going to intentionally eat this little yellow fruit and see, because I haven't pooped in
I had seen that.
2 or 3
I had
days.
seen that. They say, okay, I'm doing it. It's going to be fine, I think. And then they're having like an exorcist moment where they regret every single thing they've ever done, even in past lives regret.
Yes, absolutely. What on earth would make you see this and still go through with it? Because they know.
Like, I finally understand my husband's ayahuasca response, because it's like, if that is the result of ayahuasca, why would I do ayahuasca? Just substitute yellow dragon fruit.
No.
I guess because yellow dragon fruit doesn't get you high. It just gets you half ayahuasca.
And ayahuasca is supposed to put you in touch with God. Like, it gives you the answer. It gives you the reason people do it is for the mental, not the physical. This is a fucking fruit that is literally promising you are going to fucking shit your knickers and it's going to be ugly. These beautiful young girls have that exorcist moment where they're crying, they're sweating, and then they just show themselves for a split second going, ugh, and that's the end of the video. Why? Why? And Mallory, my daughter, went to Trader Joe's. Somebody at school had a car, went to Trader Joe's and bought this fruit. And she said, Mom, it taunted me. I put it on top of the mini fridge, right? The little micro fridge. And it taunted me every day. Are you going to eat me? What's going to happen? What's going on? And I said, tell me you did not eat that fruit, please.
You know she did. You know she did. You know she did. You know she did.
She did not. She bought it thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so funny and so no, she did not. Why are you without a colonoscopy on the horizon? Why is that kind of purge your goal?
I don't think the purge is the goal. I think the dare is the goal. I think this is a less toxic Tide Pod. No?
Well, it's obviously less
Why
toxic.
on earth would you be fascinated with eating a fucking Tide Pod if not for the hilarity of seeing what the hell that's
You're
going
gonna die. You're eating poison.
Okay. Well, you're just eating tropical poison. You're eating colon poison.
Colon poison. All right. So the mighty purge, right?
I did do a purge once. Thoughtfully, consciously, I'm doing a purge. It's going to be great. And I did it, and I had the worst and most raging combination of infections immediately thereafter. It was, I will never do one again. I learned my lesson. You get your body's like, oh, you want to wipe everything out from the inside? Got it. We're going to reset by burning all your insides.
What
with
the
some
fuck
crazy
did you
bacteria.
use? What did you use?
No, I just did a
hydrogen
whatever
peroxide
or whatever purge and plans, whatever the things are. It was a one that was making the rounds, a 2 or 3 day thing, but it wipes out all of your gut and your vag flora.
Oh,
so that at the end you're like at a reset.
Oh no.
And then I didn't put in whatever the powderific pill of,
colostrum,
pig nuts and
Yes.
whatever else is supposed to go back up in you, right? And so all of a sudden my body's like, what should we make? I know, trouble. And so they went and did all this chaos, and it was really, really, it was a flamerific situation.
Why do people do that to themselves? Do they think it's weight loss if I start from zero? Because that I could I would never do, but I could understand. This is something that I'm struggling with.
This felt like when you, not a colonoscopy, but like a colon cleanse.
Yeah.
This was sort of this. It was like you've got so much stored junk and gunk in your, like, this was basically
trunk. Finish it. Say trunk.
It was like running that little bottle of degreaser through your car engine, right? It was intended to, like when the Indian swamis take, they literally do flossing through their mouth and nose to, like, they just run a string all the way through. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to do this horrible thing. And that's a great idea. And then it was not. Surprise. Yeah, it shouldn't have been a surprise to me.
How long do we have to wait after each one of these fucking weird things to see who lives, who dies, who tells the story? Like, how long do we have to wait afterwards?
Yellow dragon fruit. Who lives, who dies, who tells the story?
You've heard the story. Stop. Like, nobody died, but they barely lived. And this is your choice? No. That is a price I will not pay for what? Beauty? I wore a dress that had cutouts at my hips before I had a body to show cutouts at my hips. I am closer to that body today, and I'm still not wearing that dress again. I don't know what I was thinking. I was absolutely high, but I was so happy that it didn't matter. I felt like you said you
look great.
Dress pretty, feel pretty, be pretty.
That's it. It's how you feel about how you look. It's not how you actually look. Because you can be wearing the best looking thing, but if you're physically uncomfortable in it, meaning not that you
shifting, changing,
not that it's
poking.
tight and pinchy, because you can just ignore that like a ballerina might. I'm saying if you aren't comfortable in your skin when you're wearing it, you've ruined the outfit and it'll show. So you're better off wearing something that fits you less well, but fits your mindset and your attitude about yourself better, because you will look better in the worse outfit.
Two things.
Because of what you're feeling and projecting.
One, I was pregnant with my son when I went to Atlantis for the first time. It was fucking incredible. Is there a moment in your life where you're happier being in a bathing suit than when you're pregnant and don't have to hold in a gut? It was fucking magical. It was the best vacation. It was amazing. I didn't even have children. I had one in the cooker, and people walked by and I was like, big fat belly, bitches. Look at me. This girl's pregnant.
I had a whole mouth full of funny, and I had to swallow it. Okay.
I've gotten some feedback on your toilet paper in the Ziploc bag. And
what kind of feedback?
The feedback is, well, why can't you have a normal healthy poop where your wiped paper isn't soiled as bad? If you're eating well and staying healthy, it should just drop out of you. And I thought,
oh, for fuck's sake.
And I thought, your son's not in Cyprus, is what I thought.
All over me.
Right.
No, I have Trust me, the amount that I poop,
Trust me.
I got no problem. Okay, it's a nice clean cut. It's not about that. You're still wiping up afterward, and there's going to be something on the paper, no matter how small. The fecal matter is there. Would you use it as a napkin on your face after? That's just what I'm saying. Okay, it's not like I'm having an explosion moment. And P.S. I don't know what the food is in Costa Rica. I don't know how my body's going to react. What happens if I paint the bowl? Now where are we going? I'm supposed to jump in the pool? There's a lot to this. And the answer is, I don't want to handle the paper.
You said
I
paint
just
the
don't want
bowl.
to handle it.
I can't.
I don't want to handle the paper. I'm just saying. I see a clean toilet and I want to paint it black.
Do you? You will. Do you flush wipes?
No.
Would it be better if you brought wipes with you?
I don't usually get involved in those sorts
But
of things.
wipes are not toilet paper. My brother used to say, I use wipes because if you got shit on your sneaker, would you just wipe it with a wipe and call it a day? Or would you, with toilet paper? Is toilet paper enough to wipe the bottom of your shoe? Why is it enough to wipe your ass? You need to clean that mess. And I said, what have you been eating?
There's some logic there.
What is your
there's
diet
some logic
like?
there, and the rest of the world subscribes to this logic with all of their squirty stick toilets and everything else that they use. Right?
Stick.
They all subscribe to this, and I agree.
Did you make it to Sarah's toilet in Oregon, in Portland?
I did, and then I messed it up. I did.
What do you mean you messed it up?
Okay, so at our friend's summer home, she has in the guest bathroom, I don't know about the other bathrooms, but in the guest bathroom, there's a toilet with an attached bidet fixture, right? And I thought, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going in. I'm using it. But I wanted to test it first, and I don't know what I was thinking.
It's not a water fountain. What are you talking about?
I turned it on. So I turned it on while I was standing there.
You took it to the face?
Everybody made this face when I had to explain it to them. Because I just... And then I had to and then I got water all over the floor and the wall because it went and I was like, oh, I guess that's what's supposed. And then I was so freaked out about having to, and I just used toilet paper because I didn't want to use her towels on the toilet and the floor with toilet water. So then there was spray and shit under the counter. So I used all that stuff. So I cleaned it all up and I threw that all out. And I'm like, I gotta get out of this fucking bathroom. So I never did use it. Then I had to explain how dumb I was, and then everyone was laughing at me, which they always do, because I somehow, everywhere we go, I get stuck in the elevator. Like, you have bidet water on the wall, something. So
you did get stuck in the elevator when we rented that house in Mystic, didn't you? Wait, where was that house?
I did. It was in New Jersey Shore somewhere.
Okay,
it was
one
in
of
Ocean
the houses
City,
we rented,
New Jersey.
Yeah, that's very true. Because I think it's because you're that kid who grew up. Who needs to lick and touch and get in? Oh, if it has a button, I'm going to push it. If it has
That's not true. That's not true.
Isn't it?
That's not true.
What were you doing in the elevator?
What?
Why were you in the elevator?
I got in it. And then Janine manipulated it from the outside. That's what happened.
No
so when I was in between floors
button on the outside.
No, there's a key to operate the elevator from the ground floor to the outside, and I got in it, and after I was in it, she turned the key. So it stopped the elevator while I was in it in between floors.
I don't know how accurate.
And then everyone could hear me calling out for help, and then they left me in there because it was funnier to hear me calling for help and laughing from both above and below me. As you can imagine. I would have too.
Who here wants to come on our next trip?
My God.
You too can laugh at Amy in person. Also, if you have comments, thoughts, concerns that you would like to share with us, please write to brilliantobservations@gmail.com. I do want to let you know, here's a newbie on Facebook. We are Brilliant Observations. We have a subgroup called Brill Ob Squad. And Brill Ob Squad this morning just started a chat group that you can...
What?
The 73 people who are in there now, which, dear listener, get the fuck over to gosh darn Facebook and get into Brill Ob Squad group.
Get the fuck over to gosh darn.
And get into the conversation because...
Ned fucking Flanders.
I tried to clean it up. I'm getting hungry and angry at the same
F
time.
Up.
No, it's F the F-U-P. And then Marnie turns to me and says, we're spelling up now?
Right.
Yeah. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Go there and you can in real time interact with us. potentially not when Amy is getting the designer monkeys to her Costa Rican house that smells like shadoobie with 8 men and 2 women.
It's going to be so good. You will all be jealous. Even with the little poop receptacle bags, I'm sure they've sorted it out. My favorite thing is if I get there and learn that you can flush this, and all this fecal-based worry was for naught.
It is not unusual, dear listener, for you to hear fecal-based humor on this show. I think we're not pretending to be something we're not. We're very honest, and I honestly think that's why you like us.
Yep.
Everybody poops. It's a book for children. Everybody has accidents. It's a podcast for grown-ups. So thank you for coming out and hearing about Amy's poops, my issue with the price of beauty. And I will tell you, I did order the colostrum, and it is on its way to my house right now.
Oh, my God.
And I will also tell you that I got the blood orange flavor because I'm going to pour it into my peak tea.
Mango kalimbalingalo.
My iced tea, and it will dissolve perfectly in there, and I will drink it. And I will tell you, motherfuckers, what happens.
We'll be able to tell just by looking at it.
Do I start moo? I will let you know if I start chewing my cud, if any other weird thing happens. But I'm going to wait till after Memorial Day to try it because I have too many plans to be at the beach. Oh, also, if you're at the beach, go to Brillob's Squad. Tell me you're there and let's meet up for some snacks, bites, and eats. I would love to hang with listeners. We'll do a meetup, Jersey Shore version. I think that's been done before. Thank you so much for listening. We love you guys. Just tons and tons.
Bye. I manipulate space